Meet Jackie, a 3-year-old Labrador who works with LAFD firefighter Jason Chapman. She's part of the urban search and rescue team and helps find missing victims who are alive during rescue efforts.
Our dogs are trained to detect human scent that's, for instance, covered by a collapsed building, and they will alert with a bark. At that point, we'll send a second canine to see if they bark. If they bark, then we'll start effecting a rescue with our people.
Chapman has been working with the Canine unit for 14 years and has had Jackie for a year. He says 90% of the time she works off leash and for a toy reward.
We first have to find a training site. So we usually go to like concrete recycling centers. So that's when somebody tears out a street or an old building. They take all that concrete and dump it at these recycling centers. And it's basically in a big pile like a collapsed building. And we literally will hide each other in the concrete pile and then send the dogs out to find us. Initially, when you have a new dog, you're going to be training for about a year before you even take your first test. And then every 3 years we will test with FEMA to make sure the dog is still up to par to search.
These canine units are not just based in Los Angeles, but they are deployed around the country with a minimum of 4 dogs per team. There are a total of 8 FEMA teams in the state of California.
FEMA started the whole program back in the 80s because of all the big disasters and the inability for a small local agency to handle the disaster. So we created the FEMA rescue teams where we can deploy ahead of time for a hurricane because we know it's going to happen, or if we have a major earthquake in Southern California.
Blue, a 5.5-year-old Labrador from the National Response Team, is a Department of Justice trained accelerant detection canine. He works with Gus Gaeta, an LAFD fire investigator and task force officer with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, or ATF.
He helps us out on many investigations, murders, homicides, fires that are intentionally set by arsonists. He's 5.5 years old, and he is a food reward dog, meaning that he only eats when he's training, and he only eats when he's finding accelerants. So we do that on a daily basis, all year round. So what we have here is the accelerants that Blue is able to find, anywhere from medium petroleum distillates, gasoline, diesel, kerosene, light petroleum distillates, medium petroleum distillates, which is like your charcoal lighter fluids. And he can find like 1/10 of a drop in a football field.
The dogs also receive additional training with ATF. Currently, Blue has mandatory training for 2.5 hours every day with Gaeta, who preps materials with accelerants for Blue to identify.
The training entails him finding accelerants, burning materials commonly found in your household, like drywall, carpet, flooring, clothes, items that are usually found in the residence when it's burned. We try to identify those items by bringing in the dog, and if they have accelerants, then he will tell us which ones has the accelerants. Everything that he alerts to also has to be verified by the labs. So even though he alerts to it, the lab has to authenticate his findings. What this dog can do, no machine can do.